This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show, and today I'm pleased to have the man, the myth, the legendary bass player for Public Image, Jah Wobble. How you doing today, Jah?
I'm good, Eric. I did leave Public Image in 1980, which is a little while ago. But they've not been any good since then, of course. I'm just saying that. I'm only joking, by the way.
No, I know you are. You have a good sense of humor. Off the 1991 Jah Wobble's Invaders of the Heart album, Rising Above Bedlam, Sinéad O'Connor sings on the song Visions of You. As a side note, you were friends with her husband, John Reynolds, because he played drums with you.
Well, no, it was all the other way round, really. I met her through him, but I only got him to play drums after she sung that, really. And we used a lot of loops at that time, and I had a percussionist called Neville Murray. So John done a job. I met him through the bass player from Adam and the Ants, who was a really good guy, and he introduced me to John. They had a band called Max, and then I met Sinead.
How would you describe her personality?
Sinead was very open. She could be quite shy, but, you know, when she sung, when she got into it, she had such a power. Was it Maria Callas, the opera singers? Those opera singers could smash glasses with the direction of their voice. She broke the membrane in a mic doing that when she first came to sing. You couldn't have managed that even if you threw the mic at the floor. You know, this concentrated thing. Very generous. She didn't want any money for coming to sing or anything. No, don't worry about that. Very, very easygoing. So I gave some publishing to John because I give someone something, you know what I mean? Because she'd come down and give her time. I knew I was going to be able to write a song for her, so I was able to sit down and clearly envisage her voice singing, and she's very charismatic, you know. So I was able to really imagine that. So when she came in to sing, it was a dream because this thing I'd heard in my head on a loop for 72 hours before the session is suddenly being realised. She was very charismatic. In a way, we're talking about Johnny Lydon was very charismatic. So that's something I probably didn't make clear earlier, you know, when you asked me what he was like. Well, even before he became famous, there was a charisma there. People would be drawn to him, look at him, listen to him, you know. Do you know what I mean? Even as being spiky, she had that, you know. She was very charismatic sort of person. You're drawn to her, you know, and they got that thing about them when they go on stage, you know, they draw people in somehow. I know that probably comes at a price, that kind of charisma. There's another side to that. Probably great actors have as well, you know.
A live performance with her singing.
We did a few shows. We did Glastonbury. When we did America, she came out and sung with us. So, yeah, we did quite a few shows with her. In London, she'd come and sing stuff. And I did other tracks. I did a track called Josie Walsh with her. She sang on another couple of tracks.
Was there anything that stands out to you? Any conversations that you had with her that stand out to you?
Yeah, we had, you know, nice chats. I remember after the Pope thing, she really come under some pressure. Obviously, I was brought up a Catholic, so I knew what a big deal it was going to be, what she did, you know, when she criticised the Pope. So I talked about that, and I just remember saying to her, look, it will blow over. Just take a bit of time, and just general kind of life stuff. Because the first time I played with her was on her record. John had got me into First Husband to play on a track or two or on one of those albums. And the last time I saw it was about 2006 or 7 or something. Daniel Lenoir, they set a studio up in her house up the coast from Dublin. Me and her just had a little chat about things, and yeah, just always got on with her. It's very Irish, you know, so she was very easy to talk to.
About her passing.
I was very sad. I was doing a kind of zany podcast, football podcast, where you're larger than life and, you know, they should sack the bloody players or whatever, sack the manager or whatever it was. In fact, we just got a new manager. We all said, he's got this great new manager, and it was all a bit zany and mad. And I saw a thing flash up on my phone. Sinead O'Connor, 55 or 56, has died. And I thought, what does that mean? What do those words mean? Can't mean she's dead. And then, so actually, I think that's what it means. So I'm kind of in this middle of this being zany, you know what I mean? And suddenly I've got to kind of de-zany it, quieten it down, get off the podcast and, you know, kind of look at the news. But I was very sad.
You liked her and you guys got along and everything was beautiful.
She was quite funny. You could have a laugh with her. You could take the mickey and have a little joke or whatever. She was fine.
How did you get the call in 1993 to co-write the song Play Dead for the soundtrack of the film The Young Americans with Björk and British film composer David Arnold, whose credits include scoring 5 James Bond films? And that song, Play Dead, ended up being put on her debut record when they reissued it.
That's right. So I got the call. It was kind of through the record company. I was with Ireland at the time. You got this opportunity, if you like, to go and work with this guy, David Arnold. And right, all I knew was it was kind of write a thing for a film. So I don't think we had any rushes or anything. So he would have talked to me. I went somewhere in South London, I think, to do it. And so he was kind of, we're talking about things. I start a bass line, this kind of B line with a change, some fills, and then I put some basic string part. And he then said, right, that's it. I've got it. And he went and got a book. It literally kind of big book that said, so you want to write film music sort of thing, that kind of title. Went to the sort of James Bond strings kind of section and started making it, giving it a kind of James Bond sound. And then Björk was going to sing on it. And, I'll tell you, funny, I took my name was supposed to be on it with them two. I actually asked for my name to come off, believe it or not, because I just think, well, it's not really a Jah Wobble record. I don't know. I did have issues with the recording of it, the way it was recorded, to be honest. I think I recommended Tim Simonon, who was a DJ, Bomb the Bass. So I think he might have done the mix that was used, because I remember I didn't like the way when it was being recorded, and I didn't feel it was my track, but it's just I was asked to go down to the studio when it was obviously being recorded. I've got to play the bass, and it was like, oh my God, it started recording the orchestra first. I remember thinking that's not really the way to do it. And I can't remember what happened, but anyway, it was this thing. I felt you should start with the rhythm section first, because timing wise. And I met Björk later that day. It's very tricky, to be fair, to record an orchestra. And you've got so many things going on, and when you look at them, you'll see the pianist reading the Daily Mirror or something. So it's not easy. I was so busy around that time, so I kind of felt, well, I've done everything I can for this, but I've got to be publishing on it. It's all fine. Yeah, so I met her that day, and I think she come down to the studio. I met her then. She was very nice. She was young, wasn't she? So, said, hello, how you doing? And blah, blah, blah. And then I met her again years on at Roskilde Festival, I think it was. And she was in the gym. We were both on her running machines. You don't want to be rude. I said, is that Björk? So I kept, and she was looking. It was, oh, yeah. So we really had a nice chat. We chatted much more that day, and we would chat away for a while. She was very nice. What are you doing? And far more of a chat that day. A lot of people loved that tune. I was very much a session guy at that time, remember, and it done very well. I'm glad I got publishing on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Her debut solo record was called Debut, and they put it on there. So that album did very well. And
that's right. Yeah. I don't know if I get a credit on the. I mean, I'm not bothered. I don't know if you see my name on the, I've obviously got to be publishing on it. I don't know if I'm even mentioned on her album. So years later, everybody found out that I played on it.
In 1994, was there instant chemistry working with Cranberries singer Dolores O'Riordan on the song The Sun Does Rise off Jah Wobble's Invaders of the Heart album, Take Me to God?
Yeah, well, the first time I met Dolores, it went from meeting at a restaurant or something into you got to meet her at the hospital. So yet again, I'm thinking, God, is this a dream? Is this a false memory or something? Because she's gone skiing, and she doesn't really ski very well, was I think what she said. But she'd gone off piste for a laugh and ended up not really being a great skier. But she'd gone downhill at doing 50 miles an hour or something and gone into a tree. So when I met her, she had all the legs up, in the way. I don't think it's the sim, because I broke my thumb in two places playing football the other week. And they put a cast on, and it's plastic, and they do it really quick. It's none of the plaster of Paris, but in those days you still had plaster of Paris. So yeah, again, I don't think it's a false memory. She had leg up in traction. They'd have it on those ropes and everything now, or they did then, and all bandaged up. And she was, but very spirited, not at all like feeling sorry for us. Hey, how you going? We got on like a house on fire. And Dolores, very professional. And it was one of those ones, it was always people said, why don't you work more with her? And it's like, yeah, should have done another track or two. She was very nice, very fleeting, but really liked her, really got on with her. I heard a story where she'd met a very famous producer. It might just be myth, but I was told, she said, what does he want to do? And he says, well, I want to go to Acapulco, do a track there with the crashing waves and this and that, and then go to this other place, and record there and make it like this and make this very flowery, really produce a special record, And the story I heard was, she said, this is how it works. I sing, he plays the drums, he plays the guitar, he plays the bass, you press the buttons to whoever it was, which that was the story I heard, which I thought was really funny.
What was it like recording with her?
Just easy, like Sinead, just no, can we go that, so you see a little bit sharp or a little bit flat? No, just boing, 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 straight on it like an arrow. No, so done in probably half an hour.
Her passing, how did you hear about it, and what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, it was one of those, everything flashes up on your phone now. So it flashed up on the phone. It was like, wow. And the funny thing, it was like Sinead, she died in London at a hotel, I think it was. And Sinead, I was really surprised with Sinead. I didn't realise to find out until a couple of days later. I might be wrong, but I don't think I think it was somewhere like Herne Hill, I think, in South London, quite a sort of an anonymous part of South London as well, you know. And with Dolores, yeah, just heard it was just, yeah, again, you're just sad because, you know, it was like with Sinead, she was only 56. And how old was Dolores? She wasn't that old. So, yeah, it's just sad. I was surprised the BBC got on to me. I become Mr. Rent-A-Quote for a couple of days. And everybody says, sorry for your loss. And you feel, no, it's not my loss. It's sort of everybody's loss in that sense. There's all great artists and great persons died, but it's family. It's really heavy for the families of those big stars because it's difficult for them to get private grief time, you know, and to grieve the real person that they really knew better than any of us. I've got some performer's face on there and Jah Wobble, and I'm a bit larger than life, and I'm telling you all my mad stories and all these people I work with. But the real me, what am I like in the morning when I get up and have a cup of coffee, and who am I, you know? And what are you then? This is what people are, of course, when you see them. And their families know that, and they're in a way, they're denied the space maybe to sort of grieve that properly. But yeah, I was very, very sad. I can't remember where I was. It would have flashed up on my phone. And yet again, you never think, oh, right, I can read that sentence and understand it. You always think, no, what does that mean? You know, because it takes a minute, 2 minutes for you to think, fucking hell, they're dead. You know, so death, even though you know life's impermanent, it shocks you every time anyway.
The Blairing Out Show.